my topic is nurturing spiritual wellness. I thank Devika to invite me for this fourth edition of the Festival of Wellbeing. How many of you feel that spiritual knowledge is required in our daily life now? We require it? Okay. And how many of you are doing something to gain this knowledge, practice this knowledge right now? Wonderful. It's very nice to see this because many times we think that spiritual knowledge is that which takes us away from life. Spiritual knowledge is that which is to be practiced at the fag end of our life. My teacher, Swami Chinmaya, used to say beautifully that spirituality is not a way to look at certain things. It is a certain way to look at all things. It's not limited to rites, rituals, temples, etc. alone. That is one aspect of it. So it's not a way to look at certain things. It's a certain way to look at all things. It's a vision of life. Where I see oneness, when we act out of that spiritual knowledge that we all are one, body level, mind level, intellectual level, financial level, social level, we are all different from each other. But the truth in us, consciousness in us is the same. All of us are living beings, so life in us is the same. We all are dynamic, we all are active, we all are belonging to a particular country. Different levels of oneness one can see. So that which gives us oneness, the vision of oneness, is that which is this spiritual knowledge. And if you see, I'm going to give the classic example of the Gita, where do you think Arjun was a very successful person? Was he in Mahabharata? Was he a skilled archer? Was he a very righteous person? Did he follow good values? Did he prepare himself for the war? Had he defeated them once earlier before? All this he has done, and yet on the day when the battle has to begin, what happened to him? He started shivering, trembling, sweating. He couldn't hold his bow. Why did that happen to him? Because he could not kill the relatives because attachment came up in his mind. And so what did Krishna do? Did he change anything outside? He infused the knowledge in him, made him aware of his purpose, made him aware of why this war has to be fought. And then when he got that clarity, made him aware of that state of detachment from where he has to act. So if one becomes aware of this knowledge, spiritual practices, that same Arjun who was dejected, depressed, despondent, became a very dynamic man, went on to achieve success and went on to win the war. So it's not important, it's not enough to be just good in life, it is very, very important to be spiritually good, spiritually anchored in life. And that's why the spiritual well-being, to nurture that from as early as one can, is a very important aspect because we have all the four layers of our personality: body, mind, intellect and spirit. To align these four is what we call as yoga. So first topic is balance. How do we balance these four? In the Gita, Krishna says that following moderation is very, very important aspect. Any extremes, we say ati sarvatra varjayet. Any extremes will lead to imbalance, will lead to certain disturbances, will lead to a certain difficulty. So in the 6th chapter he says, yuktahara viharasya yukta cheshtasya karmasu. Follow moderation in these aspects. In food, in sleep, in exercise, in entertainment, in work, and in spiritual practices also. Balance is a very, very important aspect of life, and when a person lives in balance, person grows holistically. So Gita tells us that look at life as a whole and live a whole life. We don't look at ourselves only through certain compartments. Yes, at certain stages in life, there are certain things which are important, no doubt. But overall growth is a very important aspect. And how do we attain this balance? So few points to attain balance. First aspect is self-love. to love oneself and to practice things which will help me to align body, mind, and intellect. If I am not strong, I cannot become a great contributor to my work, to my family, to my society, anywhere. So the formula for that is very simple. It is T20. Right now the IPL is going on. T20 is the mode everywhere. So T20, if I practice, what is T20? 20 minutes of exercise, 20 minutes of meditation, and 20 minutes of spiritual study. In a day, if I can take out 1 hour for myself, I will be able to balance my body, mind, intellect, align them very well. And only when this alignment happens can there be success. In Arjun's life, if you saw, that point in time, his mind got very disturbed. So physically he got dejected and intellectually he got completely eclipsed. So we are functioning as a whole. Body, mind, intellect is one equipment. Spiritual well-being is to nurture all these. So first aspect is to commit. How much is my commitment for my evolution and my growth? If I am only in a mode where I have to keep working, keep giving, keep contributing, I will burn out very fast. So I must invest in myself. So first aspect is that, to ensure that I put my growth also as a priority. I have to prioritize myself. And that does not mean I am being selfish. Many people think that self-love is selfish. It is not. I have to put myself before I put anybody else first to grow. Then I will be able to serve. So first aspect of balance is that. Second aspect is, do I feel the pain of imbalance? That when I am not leading a balanced life, physically or emotionally, spiritually, anywhere, there will be certain difficulties. And if I feel that pain, the need for balance, if I can't do balance in a day, balance in the whole week also I can do. 3 days of exercise, 4 days of meditation, whatever it may be. But a balance is a very, very important aspect. Spiritual knowledge also helps us to balance between love and detachment. Helps us to balance between our individual growth as well as contribution to society. Today we need balance in so many things, even in our phone. Balance between screen time and non-screen time. Someone said nicely that, earlier days when people used to sleep, people's bodies used to get rest. Nowadays when people sleep, the phones get rest. Because most of the time we are hooked on to the phone so much. So the point is, balance is a very important aspect in spiritual life. And balance also comes when there is clarity of purpose. So the second aspect is purpose. How do I develop clarity of purpose? If I have a purpose in mind, I will know why I need balance, why should I lead a disciplined life. One of the reasons why one doesn't lead a balanced life is lack of sense control. So spiritual life also tells us how to control the senses, not to suppress the senses, not to completely be in an expressive mode, but to balance the senses, to use them well. And so the purpose has to become very clear to us. Then sense control also will come in. So if my purpose is to grow very healthy, then I will want to wake up early, live in a discipline, do some exercises. If my purpose is to find certain inner peace, I will get up, do my practices, meditation, japa, whatever it may be. So purpose, clarity. And the clarity of purpose comes from clarity of identity. Who am I? Arjun forgot his identity as a soldier and he shifted his identity to being a student, being a grandson, being a relative. So my identity determines my purpose. How clear is my identity? That clear will be my purpose. And the more clearer the purpose becomes, more stronger will become that identity. So a person who wants to develop this has to keep asking that question, that what is my identity here? What is my role here? Why am I doing such and such thing? That is one aspect of purpose, that my identity determines my purpose. When he forgot his identity, Krishna reminded him that your identity is that you are a soldier. And what is your duty as a soldier? Your identity is that you are not just this body, you are an individual soul who has traveled many, many lives. And so are all of them. Your identity is you are consciousness, which is indestructible. So the greater, the higher the identities I take up, the deeper my purpose will become. And the deeper identities I operate from, more inner peace I will attain. Like if I operate only at the body level, even in relationships, you see, if we see people only at body level, after a certain point, we are not able to connect. Because we become only judgmental, or our focus is only on enjoyment, or what best can I get out of this person. But if I focus on the person's emotions, values, ideals, then I connect at a much deeper level. If I go still deeper and I understand that this person is not only what he or she is right now, he's on a journey of evolution, many, many lives one has traveled, then my picture becomes more bigger and more clearer. So the deeper identities I operate from, the deeper will be my sense of fulfillment and connection. So even in a company, when I see people only as a means to attain a target, then I'm not able to bond well with them. But if I see them as human beings, then there's a different way I will connect with them. If I see them as co-seekers or team members to achieve a bigger purpose, then I see them in a different way. So my identities, the deeper identities I take up, the deeper will be my connection, and the purpose will be served. And the third topic is inner peace. Before I go to inner peace, whatever we do, there is a purpose for a certain activity, but what is the ultimate purpose? Why are all of us here? If that ultimate purpose is very, very clear, that whatever we do, Vedanta says the ultimate purpose is only two: attainment of happiness and freedom from sorrow. Paramananda prapti and atyantika dukkha nivritti, that is what we want. So if that purpose is very, very clear to me, that I am here for that, then the means also I will adopt accordingly. What is that which makes me really happy? That is what aligns my body, mind, intellect. I will engage in that, and that brings a lot of happiness to me. And what makes me sorrowful, miserable, which disintegrates me, which doesn't help me to live an integrated life as an individual, I will avoid that. And so, Swadharma is something that Vedanta says very clearly, that anchor in what is your Swadharma, what is your core competency. Somewhere I read, if you seek happiness for an hour, take a nap. If you want happiness for a day, go for a picnic. If you want happiness for a month, get married. If you want happiness for a year, inherit wealth. But if you want happiness forever, then do what you love and love what you do, and find out who you are. The way to peace is that, finally. I have to find out who am I truly. I can do certain actions to attain peace of mind, and there are many spiritual practices which we can do, and that's what Krishna tells Arjuna in the Gita. When Arjuna says, my mind is wild, it is like a monkey, it is wandering everywhere, it is restless, it is impulsive. How do I control this mind? And Krishna says only two things. He says, Abhyasena tu kaunteya vairagyena cha grahyate. With abhyas or practice and vairagya, which is dispassion, or we say in this context, detachment. So what is the practice? Practice of single-pointedness. And that single-pointedness practice is divided into two aspects, where we do one thing at a time. Swami Chinmaya used to tell us, bring your mind where your hands are. If we learn to practice this, bring the mind where the hands are. Most of the time our mind is not where our hands are. We are sitting in one place, but mind is wandering all over. Quickly, you can give a clap. Bas, one clap. Some people whose mind is here, they know why they clapped. Some people whose mind is far away, they would wonder, why are people clapping? So we are not where our minds are most of the time, and that's why so many errors happen, so many conflicts in relationship. People say that you are here, but your mind is somewhere else, you are not spending quality time with me. So the idea is to bring the mind where the hands are, and that happens when we do one thing at a time. You can do your research. Multitasking is a big myth. Multitasking cannot be done. What we do is only switch tasking. If I'm watching television and eating food, I'm only switching. I'm not actually doing multitasking. Very few people can do multitasking whose brains are wired for that, and those are called super taskers. some 6% of the people in the world can do multitasking, where they give equal attention to the thing simultaneously. Otherwise, we are doing switch tasking. And in that, there is a lot of energy wastage. There is a lot of strain. So do one thing at a time with full attention. Multitasking is different from multiple tasking. I may have multiple tasks, multiple projects to work at, but at one time I'm focusing on one, giving full attention. That is the way to peace. So first is to practice one thing at a time, bring the mind where the hands are. And second is every day spend at least 10 minutes to connect with the self, to go deeper. And one of the best practices for that is mantra japa. Japa is there in every culture. Jains have Naukar mantra, Buddhists have, so many mantras, Om Mani Padme Hum and Namo Ringe Q and all that. And then Islam has, Christianity has Hail Mary, Jesus, Hinduism has Om, Namah Shivaya, Gayatri Mantra, so many. One mantra. A mantra is a very potent spiritual sound formula. It's not just any word. Especially in our Vedic mantras, they are sound vibrations. So when one chants, one will create a certain vibration and one will also be able to turn within and attain peace. So japa is a very powerful practice to do every single day. Just 10 minutes, start with that. And slowly the mind will feel the inner peace and happiness. And yes, the last point is enquiry. Self-enquiry is the way to peace. To know who am I truly, the beautiful shloka says, Aprayatnat prayatnadva mudho na apnoti nirvritim tattva nischaya matrena. Neither by lot of action nor by quitting action one will attain absolute peace. How will one attain peace? Only when one knows the truth. When one knows who am I. We are searching for peace outside, we are searching for happiness outside, but the fact is our nature is peace and happiness. One who becomes aware of that experiences supreme peace and happiness, and to anchor in that and work. To work from happiness is spiritual wellness. To work from peace is spiritual wellness. In the beginning we may work for peace and happiness, but eventually we come to work from peace and happiness. And you see some of the greatest institutions which are there in the world. You tell me one corporate organization which is there more than 1,000 years old. But you will see so many spiritual organizations who are more than 1,000 years old. Why? Because the focus is on acting from happiness. Shankaracharya established the 4 mathas. They are going on even now, more than 1,200 years. Jesus, Buddha, so many of these spiritual masters. Because the foundation was selflessness. Foundation was they experienced the fulfillment, gaining which nothing more remains to be gained. That is spiritual wellness. And from that fulfillment, they have acted. So thank you very much. I wish you all success in all your endeavors and anchoring in spiritual growth. May you attain balance, clarity of purpose, and inner peace.